Press the bell icon and never miss your dose of motivation when I upload my videos. Hello and welcome to my Wednesday show, the Motivational Speaker Diaries, where I share some funny, some meaningful anecdotes from my 23 years of motivational speaking. So before I start, I have to tell you that I have so many books. So I have made the effort to be for you, to be with you on every platform that you so wish. My books are there to keep you busy during the week. They all are in the genre of inspiration. I've written 10, I have a few here, and if you wish, for this week, I'm going to recommend The Wise Man Said. It's a collection of 12 spiritual stories. It's really good. This book has won 5 international awards. And my latest one is How to Write a Book in 8 Days for all my friends who feel they have stories in them but don't have the articulation or the time or whatever excuse that they are making to write. You got to get your hands on this one. All my books are available everywhere on all online portals, including my website. If you order there, I will personally sign it for you. So, getting started on the Motivational Speaker Diaries. So I often get asked this question that Priya, you've been in the industry for so long, and by the way, there are so less women speakers in the motivational speaking industry. I don't understand why. I mean, we love to talk, we get paid for it. The stage is ours. You can talk for as long as you want. Sometimes a workshop is 8 hours. It's a woman's delight, and yet such few women in the industry. In fact, I must tell you, every year I get the award of the top motivational speaker female. I often get asked, Priya, you've been in the industry for 23 years. You're a woman, you take the stage, and if you see the corporate world, majority of them are men. So people ask me, don't you ever get hit upon? Don't people harass you? Have you ever been a victim to sexual harassment and so on? Well, let me tell you, people have tried, okay? There have been attempts made, but have they been successful? No. Okay, so I'll tell you about an incident. This was way early, so the fun part about the Motivational Speaker Diaries is I get to go 23 years back into time, and I still haven't reached the recent space. But I will tell you, in my younger years, when I started off, I was in my 20s, yeah. So there was one time I went for a meeting, very big multinational organization. I met the HR manager. The meeting, according to me, was fantastic. But when I came out and I was walking to my car, I get an SMS. And in those days we had these Nokia phones and there was SMS, you couldn't WhatsApp. And I read the SMS, and it was from the HR manager I had just met. And there was a question, are you married? And I'm wondering, what kind of question is this? What does this have to do with my meeting? What does this have to do with my work? What does this have to do with anything? I mean, it's so bizarre. I walk out and I get the question, are you married? Okay, now before I tell you what I responded, let me stop and take you to something that my grandfather taught me. Now, my grandfather has been my greatest teacher. I mean, that guy was brilliant. He was so spiritually grounded, and his way of teaching was not direct. He would not say, hey Priya, do this, think like this, and this should be the answer. He would build a curiosity. He would build a story. And the fact that I am 45 and still I remember his lessons that have guided me through life, I think that is phenomenal teaching, something that I have incorporated in my style of executing my workshops. Stories stick, all this preachery stuff, you should do this, you should do that, and 5 steps and 6 steps, they don't work. But tell somebody a story that moves them, show them how to be a character in that, show them how to execute, and man, you have somebody who has learned a lesson for life, a lesson that will serve them. So my grandfather, he taught me how to play chess. And so after I learned the basics, he told me, look, before you make any move, you got to think through till the end of the game. So Priya, before you take this pyada, the soldier, and you put your first move, now before you do that, you think, what will grandfather play? We used to call him Bauji. What will Bauji do? Then what will you do? Then what will he do? And now you play the whole game in your head to checkmate, and then work backward and play that move. It was brilliant. And we used to sit for hours staring at the chessboard, staring at each other, and one game would go on for hours, and my grandmother would be screaming in the background, "Khana khalo, what are you both doing?" And this is the most useless game ever, where people don't move, they just stare. So it was fun. But that is a lesson that also applies for life. Before you actually get into a game, because you see, the guy has asked me a question, "Are you married?" It's the beginning of a game, and I tell you, he has already seen it through checkmate. What is his intention? Why is he asking me, "Priya, are you married?" He has something in his mind, and he already has thought through how to lead me there. You see, it's a very, very tricky game, one that has lost deals, one that has caused bad blood in families, one that has gotten people to ruin their reputations and their decades of work. This game called mindless flirtation, this game called affairs, this game called sexual victimization, this game, whatever name that you give it. So here is what I did. So I played this game in my head. The man has asked, "Priya, are you married?" Okay, now if I say no, all right, then what will be the next question? You think it's going to stop there? Okay, I thought so, you were not married. Thank you very much. That was very valuable information. He's not going to stop there. Okay, so the next question will be, "Are you dating?" And I say no. All right, now we're going on the track of no. So I say no, and he says, "Oh really, you're so pretty. Are the guys blind? I am so surprised," and so on and so forth. And now you send back smileys and all blushing, and that time we didn't have all these smileys in the SMS, but you're blushing, and now you're showing the message to your friends, "Oh look, this guy is sending me all these flirtatious messages as if I am so innocent," and so on. So now the next message will come, which says, "So can I take you out for a coffee?" Now is when it gets serious. Now whatever answer you give, you're in trouble, babe. I'm telling you, you are in trouble. And look, I'm using a woman as an analogy, but the same thing counts for a man. It could be a woman on the other side, and you could be in trouble. Now if you say yes, sure, finished. Your reputation is finished, your deal is finished, your work is finished, you have no future. Because you see, the minute you go out for a coffee with a man who has first verified that are you single, which means the context is not business anymore, you have opened the gate of availability to any Tom, Dick and Harry, then don't please come back and complain, "I don't know why people don't take me so seriously, I don't know why everybody's hitting on me." In your attempt to be polite, you have opened the gate to a very, very bad world. Now you go and you have coffee with the man, and what is he going to tell his friends? What is he going to tell his colleagues? You think this is the first time, and you think he's going to keep quiet? Finished. Your reputation is finished. And now if you say, "No, I cannot have coffee," he's going to say, "She's playing hard to get." Do you think he's going to leave it there? No. Next week there'll be another message, next week there'll be another message, and that game is going to continue to a point of harassment. Then don't 3 weeks later say, "This guy is harassing me." Hey, you started it. You started it with your response. Okay, now let's say another side where the guy says, "Priya, are you married?" And I reply, "Yes." Okay, do you think it's gonna end there? Do you think he didn't have a plan in his head? If she's married, I'll say this. If she's not married, I'll say that. So I say, "Yes, I'm married." And the guy replies, "Oh, your husband is so lucky. What a lucky guy." And now you're like, "Oh yeah," and so on. And then the next message comes. So is having a coffee with the HR manager off the limits? See, it's not about the coffee. It's not about you having coffee with him. Of course, go have coffee with him if it's in regard with business. But the context did not suggest business. Now you can tell yourself and make up anything you want in your own little sweet ignorant world that, "Oh, I will go and talk to him. It's about work. He's the HR manager." No, boss. The foundation was very, very clear. Are you married? It's personal. It is to you. It is to get you somewhere where you may not like. Let's get real with that. So is coffee off the limits? Yeah. Okay. All right. Please know that your husband is a very lucky man, and it's so rare for women your caliber, blah blah blah, and the admiration will flow, and you will just keep blushing and say thank you, or whatever, just keeping it thank you and so on. But look, you're already in the trap because you engaged. You see, if you engage with somebody, now you're in their space. Now it's game on. Okay, so what's going to happen is another week later he's going to send a message, is coffee still off the limits? And you say yes, no, and so on. Now while that is going on for a few weeks, it becomes harassing. But the guy is not going to quit, because you see, if he was deterred by the fact that you're married, he would not have asked you the question. What difference does it make? It makes no difference to him. He just wants to sway you on the other side. Now to complain and say I'm being harassed, I think is a little late in the game. It's like first you say I want to play this, and then you say you're playing dirty, but it's a dirty game anyways. And look, even if it doesn't reach that point of harassment, even if it's cordial and casual, actually it's not, but if you so choose to say that, let's say one day your husband happens to pick up your phone and he sees this string of messages. Well, it's a no from your side, but it is also an encouragement from your side, and that's not graceful. I have seen so many couples fight, so many great relationships drift apart, so many good people get into a spot where they no longer respect each other on small, idiotic, stupid misunderstandings. So either way, whether you say yes or you say no, you're going to lose. And why do I say lose? Because that was not your intention, but you got caught in the trap. Play the game through in your head, and you will see that you are out of the game any which move that you make. And the game being your career, the game being your reputation, the game being all the hard work that you have put thus far and all the dreams that you have spun for yourself. So what did I respond to the guy? Nothing. I did not respond anything, because any answer is a bad answer. So while he says, are you married? I looked at the message, played the whole scene in my head and left it there. And do you know what? The deal went through. I worked with that company for 2 years straight, but I never saw that HR manager again. I think it was out of guilt or embarrassment or shame, or I don't know what, because you see, your silence is the biggest weapon, because he doesn't know. His game has gone kaput. He doesn't know in his head, what is she doing? Is she going to complain about me? Is she going to get me off the job? Because it's a big thing. You put a complaint and the guy is off the job, or the woman is off the job. So what is my response to people who act smart, who act flirtatious, who tell me, oh, you look good, and all of those comments? Nothing at all. You do not get a response from me if your communication with me is off alignment, if your communication with me is ungraceful. So how have I survived 23 years in the industry, moving with confidence and pride, and knowing that I own this, and knowing that this is my future, that my dreams are here to be fulfilled, because I have mastered the art of no engagement in crap. And people are quite surprised when I say it's been 23 years and nobody messes with me. People cannot mess with you without your permission. I know with this regard, there are men and women who have had graver issues, but I am not the right person to comment on that. But I am talking about the beginning of that little daily harassment that so many people go through. Don't stand for it. Put an end to it by non-engagement. Fortunately for me, things end when they start, and they end with non-engagement. They end with non-participation. I have not let myself into a position where I have had to compromise, or I have had to put my dreams, my work, my reputation on stake, even if it was the other person's fault. I have never blamed anybody, because I have worked it to checkmate and played my move accordingly, which is no move at all. Nothing to say. I will cut the line right there if I get a slight hint that this person is going to lead me into an ungraceful position. I am not going that way. So it's just a simple advice. I know it's small, but the implications are huge. So I hope this helps. Keep your reputation safe, keep your career safe, keep your work safe. It's worship. I know there is great joy in what I do, and I would not let anybody's stupidity compromise that for me, that I should feel that it's my work that's getting me in trouble. No, it's not. It's my silliness of trying to engage, of trying to be polite, of trying to be courteous because the man is related with me professionally. That is what is getting me into trouble. I do not owe my dreams to anybody, and anybody who throws a pebble in my pond and disturbs it with a comment, are you married, are you single, what are you doing tonight, oh, you're so pretty, you're so beautiful, this skirt looks so good on you, you're so hot and so on. Sorry boss, you find a different pond, or better just correct your own thinking and your head. It's not going to work here. And I'm the quickest to cut that line before my pond becomes a tornado, making life hell for me and for others. I hope this helps. I wish you a beautiful career ahead. I wish you great relationships, and I wish you greater sanity and greater tact in handling people who come to rock your boat. Yeah, so wishing you 23 years and more in your career. So until next Wednesday, I will see you. And hey, read my books. I showed you the whole lineup. Yeah, so until next Wednesday, tell me which one you read. Okay? Bye-bye.